Hello, Scorpio risings. Welcome to your monthly zodiac reading for the month of September 2025. We are rolling into eclipse season. Everything's going to be really go with the flow. But let's see. Well, my cards are disarray from the reading before, but let's see what the overall monthly theme is for you guys. We will also pull tarot for each week, discuss those tarot messages, go over the astrological transits, and then wrap it up with some additional tarot and oracle guidance. So let's see what you guys need to know for the month of September. Don't let pride get in the way. Full moon in Leo, those emotions could make you a little prideful, okay? So don't let that get in your way this month. Let's see. I'm going to give these a quick shuffle like this, but let's see what the tarot has to say for each week of the month. Oh, already the Five of Wands. Here in the first week, the Five of Wands. Here in the second week, the Nine of Pentacles. Very nice. Here in the third week, the Page of Cups. And here in the fourth week, the Two of Pentacles in reverse. Okay. So it looks like you're trying immediately, it looks like you're trying to balance the world, like responsibilities, priorities, the world with emotions. Okay, here in the first week, we have the Five of Wands. This can be like a very competitive edge, feeling like you need to fight or try to make sure that you're out on top. This is actually Leo energy, so this could be where this pride may be getting in your way, feeling like you need to one up or try to get that leg up. It can also represent feeling like you're having to consistently fight to feel seen, to feel heard, fight for your place in the world. Here in the second week, we have the Nine of Pentacles. This is known as the Lady of Leisure. She's self-made. She's very independent. She's very focused on what it is that she values, right? She values financial stability. She values her health and her wellness. She values her self-development. And she focuses on these things. She's kind of perfected this daily routine that brings her a sense of comfort and a sense of stability. Here in the third week, you have got the Page of Cups. The Page of Cups can represent a message of intuitive guidance, a message of psychic guidance. It can also represent an actual message of, say, love, or even a message, receiving a message that maybe you weren't quite expecting, something that kind of takes you aback, so to speak. Here in the fourth week, the Two of Pentacles in reverse, feeling very, very overwhelmed and needing to make a decision with what is going to be a priority and what isn't. Okay. Here in the first week, this is when we will have Saturn retrograde back into the sign of Pisces. Pisces for you guys sits in your fifth house. This is your house of creativity, your house of self-expression, drama, children, one-off love affairs, so to speak. So when it comes to, we have the wands here, when it comes to asserting yourself, it could be that maybe when it comes to creative endeavors or even things that you feel very passionate about, you feel like maybe you're having to consistently fight obstacles that are in your way to maybe just, like I said, get a leg up. Mercury moving into the sign of Virgo. This is the planet. Oh, let me finish. But Saturn is the planet of boundaries and restrictions, which is where this feeling of needing to fight comes into play, right? Like I said, the Five of Wands can represent like competition. And there's nothing wrong with healthy competition, but if you're doing it from a prideful place, that's really not a good thing. You want to let your passions lead you, but you don't want to let it get the best of you. Okay? You don't want to let your passions be the thing that kind of take you down. Okay? So you could feel very restricted in your ability to maybe even express yourself. And it almost feels like trying to get the last word. Could feel like you're trying to get the last word, okay? Um, and this is also the week Mercury, the planet of thoughts, ideas, communication, is moving into the sign of Virgo. For you guys, Virgo is in the 11th house. This is your house of friendships, social circles, groups, and group activities. It is your house of community and even your house of hopes and dreams. Okay, like your future aspirations. So again, it could apply to that, really feeling like you're having to fight for what it is that you want and what it is that you really feel passionate about. On the 6th, Uranus is going retrograde within the sign of Gemini. Uranus is an outer planet, so we will probably see this retrograde play out more on the world stage than we will in our personal lives. However, that does not mean that it cannot show up. Retrogrades, the energy, instead of it being expressed outwardly, is being expressed inward. So this could be a little unsettling when it comes to your Gemini house. For you guys, Gemini sits in your 8th house. Okay, this is your house of transformation. This is your house of shared finances, intimacy, inheritances, sex, death, taxes, all of these things, all of those taboo subjects that people feel uncomfortable talking about. This is the house. Gemini sits in that house for you. Okay. Here in the second week, this is the week that we experience the full moon lunar eclipse within the sign of Pisces. Again, your 5th house is being activated. So it could mean that there's a need to focus a little bit more on what it is that you value when it comes to your creativity, your self-expression, even your children, right? If spending time with children is really what matters to you the most, then that's what you need to focus on. Full moons are a buildup of energy, right? And this full moon lunar eclipse is going to really shake things up. It's going to make things feel kind of unsteady. However, if you want to let it, you want to ride that wave, you want to let things roll. All right. This is also the week that we will experience a Sun Mercury cazimi within the sign of Virgo. A cazimi happens when the sun and another planet sit right next to one another. They're literally on top of one another, and the sun's light is amplifying the qualities and themes of that planet. So for this, it is Mercury. So this is thoughts, ideas, communication, messages. It's clarity, basically. It's like an aha moment that you can receive around the 13th, again, within the sign of Virgo. This is probably maybe towards your future. And it could be that you realize you're like, I really just want the simple things in life. I don't need things to be overly complicated. I don't need things to be big and bold. I just really want the simple life, actually. Here in the second week or third week, like I said, the Page of Cups, receiving a message of intuitive or psychic guidance, or even receiving a message from another person. This is the week that Mercury is moving into the sign of Libra. Okay, so Mercury, again, the planet of thoughts, ideas, communication, and messages, is moving into your 12th house. 12th house has a lot to do with the subconscious. It has a lot to do with the things that we can't see. So it could be that with Mercury moving into the 12th house, you're receiving a lot of intuitive guidance, right? And it could be things that you're not expecting. It will be important for you to stay present and to really listen to any intuitive hits that you may be receiving here in this week. We will also experience Venus, the planet of love, money, beauty, and value, moving into the sign of Virgo. Again, Virgo is about perfection, refinement, stability, simplicity. And Venus is all about the things that we value, simplifying what it is that you value, taking things down to maybe the bare bones, and really getting clear on what it is that you want to invest your time and your energy into on a daily basis. Here in the last week, this is the week that we experience the new moon solar eclipse within the sign of Virgo. So again, you could be juggling a lot this week. and really needing to refine and simplify what your priorities are. Okay, new moons are new beginnings. Solar eclipses tend to amplify that. And this particular one is happening at the 29th degree. This is a critical degree. This is an endings. This is a finale type of degree. This is also the second new moon within the sign of Virgo that we experience within a span of 30 days. So that is a rare event to have two new moons in the same sign back to back. The first new moon in Virgo happened at the 0 degree, which was beginnings, and this one is now at the 29th degree, which is endings. Okay, so it could be that whatever is coming up for you during this new moon solar eclipse, it could feel very overwhelming. All right, and you might need to just, like I said, simplify things and buckle down to what is going to be a priority. And it almost feels like things are not going to be perfect. You're not going to be perfect at your day-to-day routine. Your working out's not going to be perfect. Your self-development work, journaling, all of these things are not going to be perfect this week, okay? Because you're juggling a lot. Don't focus on perfectionism. Just focus on getting it done, okay? This is the week that we have Mars moving into your first house. So Mars, one of your traditional ruling planets, is also the planet of action, aggression, desire, power, and control, is moving into your first house. So you and how you appear to others may become much more assertive and domineering. Just be careful that it does not intensify your need for dominance and control, right? Or even obsessive tendencies. On the 22nd, we will also experience the shift into Libra season. Anytime we shift into a new season, the themes and qualities of that sign will take center stage for the next 4 weeks. And the beauty of this is that anytime we shift into Libra season, we also shift into the fall equinox. So that's really, really beautiful. Let's see what additional guiding messages we can receive for you guys. And it's almost like, don't let pride get in the way. Don't let your pride get in the way in thinking that you have to have it all together. That you have to have, that things have to look a certain way in order to feel like you have it all together. That just kind of came up. So I hope that message resonates. Here in the first week, the 5 of Wands, the 2 of Wands, and the 9 of Cups. So you're feeling maybe even emotionally dissatisfied, and it could be fueling this need to constantly fight for what it is that you want, constantly fight to feel like you need to have a leg up. Like I said, maybe even need to have the last word. And then we also have the 2 of Wands. Right? You've experienced this before. You probably, if you're feeling a little prideful, if you're feeling that very competitive edge coming to you or coming to the surface, you know yourself enough to know how you're going to react. You know yourself enough to know what is the best way for you to respond. Okay? You can choose how to respond when you feel this very competitive, tense energy begin to bubble to the surface. Okay, you don't have to let your pride get in the way. You don't have to dominate the conversation. You can let things be whatever they're going to be. All right. So with the 2 of Wands, it could be looking at it like, I need to look at this situation more fully. I'm looking at the situation clearly, and I'm not happy with it. I'm not happy with it, and I feel the need to really explain that, to tell people that, and I feel the need to actually voice my opinion in a way that could come off as a little aggressive and abrasive. So just be mindful when it comes to your communication here in this first week, okay? Make sure that your unhappiness with a situation is not the thing that is wanting to drive you to use your words as a weapon. Here in the second week, the 9 of Pentacles, The Three of Pentacles, you need to make a plan. If you want this sense of independence, if you want this feeling of security and comfort, you're going to need to make a plan and not overdo it. Like you're nurturing, you could be nurturing too much. You could be over nurturing people, taking responsibility for their habits and their jobs and things that they need to be doing. You could not be taking care of yourself enough. The Empress is a big theme with the Empress is self-care, because she is the one that creates new cycles. But if you want to step into this feeling of security, of comfort, of independence, of self-made energy in a way, you're going to need to focus more on self-care and not so much on the care of others. And you're going to need to really make a plan on how you want to go about doing that, right? How do you want to do that? And again, this full moon lunar eclipse is going to be happening in your 5th house, and it could be children, right? The Empress, she's a mother, and maybe you feel like you're doing things all by yourself. All right. If that's the case, you need to communicate to your partner, I need your help with these things. Like it's like, hey, can you? No, I need your help with these things, right? You need to make a plan. The Three of Pentacles is also a collaborative effort, right? How can we build this together? How can we build this sense of freedom, structure, and security together? Because I can't do it all myself. All right. Here in the 3rd week, I keep wanting to say the 2nd week, here in the 3rd week, the Page of Cups, the 10 of Wands, and the 2 of Swords. So I feel like that's pretty clear. You need to make a decision. Like you're avoiding telling someone that you're carrying too much responsibility. You're avoiding telling someone, hey, like this is too much. I can't do this on my own. Remember, Uranus is going retrograde within your 8th house. This is your 8th house of shared resources. Resources also include our mental, emotional, and physical energy. The 10 of Wands is like, I am feeling very overburdened. I'm carrying a lot of responsibility. And you're avoiding having to communicate that. But you need to listen to your intuition, listen to your heart, and speak what's on your mind, because it is actually going to be the best thing for you. All right. Here in the 2nd week, juggling a lot of things. Still, this is a huge theme this month for you, clearly. You don't let your pride get in the way, thinking that I have to do this all myself. I have to do this all myself because no one can do it as well as I do. No one can do it as well as I do. The Empress in reverse, doing too much. The 10 of Wands, carrying a lot of burdens and a lot of responsibility. The 2 of Pentacles in reverse, too many things on your plate. Like that's clear, and it's a theme throughout the entire month. If you're unhappy, if you're not getting what it is that you want, say so. Say so. If you are in a partnership, tell your partner, I need your help with these things. Right? And then you might have to take it from there. This is a boundary that you need to establish. I will no longer be the sole person responsible for our children's health and well-being. I will no longer be responsible for making sure that our bills are always paid on time. I will no longer be the only one making sure that we have dinner on the table at a certain time. Like I am no longer going to be the one solely responsible for these things. Right? Don't let your pride get in the way and think that you are the only one that can do it, or that you have to do it, like I said, in order to feel like you have it all together. Again, here in the 4th week, the 2 of Pentacles in reverse, the 7 of Cups, and the Ten of Swords. So we've got two tens here. There is a sense of completion that's coming. You're almost like you're done. If you've been expressing how you feel about certain things, like here in this first week, and nothing changes, you could reach your breaking point towards the end of the month. Okay? With the Two of Pentacles, you could just feel in this fourth week, feel emotionally overwhelmed. And the Ten of Swords kind of feels like self-sabotage in a way. Our mind and the thoughts that we think are really what get us in the end. It's really what gets us in the end. Because you don't know what it is that you need to actually be focusing on. I don't know what I want. So therefore, I'm juggling all of the things. And as a result, I'm only hurting myself. This new moon within the sign of Virgo is a new beginning for you to get real clear on what matters to you. What is it that you actually want? Right? What do you actually want? Not what your family wants, not what your spouse wants, not what your job wants. What do you actually want? Because remember, not everything that glitters is gold. So if you're paying attention to things that don't actually add value to your life, then you're going to find yourself in the same position that you're in 6 months. So you need to get really, really clear on what it is that you value and what it is that you actually want to invest your time and your energy into. And stop being the person that hurts you the most. That's the thing about Scorpio, is that we have this stinger. And if we don't step into a place of empowerment, if we let our mind, our thoughts, our desire for power and control, or if we become overly obsessive with certain things, we end up stabbing ourselves with our own stinger. We only end up hurting ourselves in the long run. Okay, so don't let that pride get in the way. Confessions. You need to have a hard conversation. And it could be just practice the pause. Like I said, if you feel that tension bubbling up, you know yourself well enough to know how you're going to react. You know yourself well enough to know how you're going to respond. So if you're not happy with something, figure out a way to say it, a way to confess it that doesn't hurt the other person in a way, right? That doesn't wound the other person. Don't speak out of anger or frustration. But you do need to make a certain confession, whether that is to another person or just with yourself. You're like, I am not happy, and I really need to look at this situation clearly. And it could be that, like, maybe you're thinking, like, I'm the one doing it all. I'm the only one that does it right. I have to do it all because I'm the only one that does it correctly. Don't let your pride get in the way. There's multiple ways to skin a cat, for lack of a better term. There are multiple ways to achieve the same goal. And you may need to be brutally honest with yourself that if you're unhappy with the position that you're in, maybe you're the one that needs to change. No strings attached. You can ask for help without expecting. It's almost like, and it could be even receiving help and just assuming that, like, well, if I receive this help, then they're going to want something in return. Maybe they won't. Maybe they don't want anything in return. Maybe they actually just want to help you. Maybe they're just as kind-hearted as you are. All right, so just know that there doesn't have to be any strings attached to any sort of help that you receive. Okay? Get in touch with your body. You are carrying, and you may be struggling with back issues. The 10 of Wands can really be like, hey, you're carrying a lot of burdens. You need to be mindful of back issues, especially if you've been doing things like working out, focusing on your health and your wellness, your physical health. Be mindful of like hurting your back. Okay? But you need to get in touch with your body. What's overwhelming you? What is a heavy burden that you're carrying? Because your body will tell you. Your body will tell you all day long. Where do I feel stressed? When I'm around this person, what's the feeling that I get? Do I not get any feelings at all when I'm around this person? People always want to say the feeling I get around this person is a negative vibe. You could not feel anything at all around a specific person, and that in itself is also very telling. Okay, so listen to your body. Get in touch with your body. And just be mindful of your back that week. Create and progress. If you're feeling stifled, get out and do something creative. Color, draw, write a story. Do something creative. Something that can ultimately help you in the long run so that you are not consistently boggled down and becoming your own worst enemy. Okay? When we are in a creative energy, like if you're like, I'm not sure what it is that I really want, well, what helps you figure that out? Is it dancing? Is it singing? Is it going for walks? Is it painting? Is it creative play with your kids? What helps you figure out what direction you want to go? Because the chances are it's probably something very creative, something you can allow to flow without feeling restricted of it being just right. Okay? Don't let your pride get in the way. You don't have to do it all by yourself. You don't have to have it all together. Life is messy and life is hard. All right, so you don't have to have it all together. Don't let pride get in your way this month, okay? I truly hope this helped. I hope you guys have an incredible month, and we will see you next time.